But in our text this morning, which is in chapter 1, verses 9 through 11, we find God describing 4 types of people that live on the planet. And what God tells us is that living among us, and us included, that there are 4 basic types of people that are in His sight. And those types of people are those who are outwardly either rich or poor, and inwardly either rich or poor. Now think about this. All of you know the verse in the Bible. Man looketh at the outward, but what? God looketh at the heart, right? And God says outwardly, when people look at you, either you are rich or poor. Let me define poverty, okay? In the Bible, poverty is this. Penes is the word. And what that means is someone a penny, is our smallest unit of currency. It's interesting that's a little link to English, but there were 2 basic kinds of people in the ancient world. Those who worked all day today to get enough money to buy what they needed to end the day and start tomorrow, and then they worked all day tomorrow to earn enough money to get food on the way home and to buy enough for the next morning. And so basically they had enough from their day's work to live for another day, and that's all. Then were the people who had enough laid up that they didn't have to worry about working every day to eat food. And those were the rich, who had enough laid up for more than one day, and the poor who lived one day at a time. Now, there was a level below that. There were the people who, even after working all day, who begged and everything else, still were hungry. And those were considered the absolute impoverished, and that's the word Christ uses in the Sermon on the Mount, where He says, "Blessed are the impoverished in spirit," those who realize no matter what they do, they can't earn enough. And He's talking about a picture of salvation, that no matter how good we are, we're not good enough to meet God's standard. But basically 2 types of people. Rich, who had enough to look forward into the future and to have money for events and for needs, and the poor, who could only have what they earned that day to live on the next day. Now, under that definition, I would venture to say that we are all rich. I doubt if any of us wonder what we're going to eat for our meal after this or for tomorrow's breakfast. Most people in America have enough food in the cupboards, to last them through a snowstorm or an ice storm. I mean, that's just how it is. So that's why we say that we're rich in America. Now, God says, from His perspective, there are rich on the outside people who are poor on the inside from God's perspective. There are poor people on the outside who are rich from His perspective because He sees their heart and they belong to Him and they have faith. Then there are poor people on the outside who, when God looks at their heart, they're equally poor on the inside. And then there are poor people that God looks at on the outside, but God sees in their heart they're rich. So those are the 4 kinds of people. There are the rich outside, poor inside; rich outside, rich inside. There are poor on the outside, and poor on the inside, and poor on the outside, and rich on the inside. Those are the 4 basic types of people. And this morning, either you're a rich poor, or a poor poor, or a rich rich, or a poor rich. It doesn't matter. I mean, it kind of gets confusing, but think about it for a minute. All of us are one of those in God's sight. This text, so let me read it to you, starting in verse 9. "Let the brother of humble circumstance," that's poor on the outside, "glory in his high position," that's rich on the inside. "And let the rich man on the outside glory in his humiliation," if he's rich on the inside, "because like a flowering grass he'll pass away. The sun rises with a scorching wind. It withers the grass. Its flower falls off. The beauty of its appearance is destroyed. So the rich on the outside, in the midst of his pursuits, will fade away if he is poor on the inside." Do you see how God is warning about not trusting in the uncertainty of riches that go away just like that?